Now, in the R&D space in Brazil generally, it seems that there's a lot of opportunity for a company like GE to come in and provide services to other companies, be almost an outside R&D. Why is that?
Well, I think that, strictly speaking, there is a shortage of what I'll call industrial R&D capabilities. There's certainly a lot of universities that are very, very strong, but I think there's a need for that industrial laboratory role, which takes basic technology, basic research at the university level, and starts to implement it into products and services. So we're starting to see a trend towards multinational companies like GE and others coming into the region and starting to work with our big customers. And I think that GE will provide essentially a very important R&D resource capabilities. It'll be, we have experience at developing technology and converting them. So I think it's going to be something that's going to start to transform Brazil into, I would call, more of a world-class player in the area of technology development.
And talk to me about some of those infrastructure problems. I mean, what are the challenges that Brazil is facing that GE is looking to address?
I think in the case of ethanol and sugarcane ethanol in particular, there's a huge expansion in Brazil. They're going from something like 25 billion liters per year to 50 billion liters of ethanol production per year in the next 5 years. And along with that comes a pretty substantial expansion in the ethanol distillation processes, and GE sells some equipment into that space. But more importantly, there's a huge growing opportunity in what we call sort of waste to energy. There's a series of byproducts of ethanol production like biomass and vinasse, which is another type of a waste product, which can be used to generate energy.
So talk to me a little bit about what kind of opportunities there are in biofuels right now in Brazil.
In 2020, we expect to double this capacity. So then the biomass fuel would be the second biggest part of energy in Brazil, just behind the hydroelectricity. That is still a big chunk of energy in Brazil. And I think in order to cope with this requirement from the market, we have to give better solutions and more technologically advanced solutions for our customers.
Through the history of Brazil and biofuels, I mean, cars have been running on ethanol there since the 70s and 80s, am I right?
Yeah. So after this crisis in the 80s, mid-80s, the use of ethanol in Brazil decreased a lot. But the infrastructure was already there. All the gas stations were able to sell gasoline, either gasoline or ethanol, right? With the concept of flexible fuel cars in the beginning of 2000, 2012, 2002, 2003, customers saw an opportunity. So if I have a car that could run on ethanol or on gasoline, depending on the price, I can choose. And this, again, gave confidence to the customers to have a car that could run on both fuels. And this movement forced the ethanol industry to grow very quickly. Nowadays in Brazil, more than 80% of the cars produced in Brazil are flex fuel using the flex fuel concept.